Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Market Today on Business Today Television. This is Tuesday, 8th of October, and pain across the world in the equity markets as also in the Indian markets seems to be deepening as far as bulls are concerned on Dalal Street. Let us look at what the markets hold for us and what it means for today's trade. We've been falling continuously on the Nifty for the last 6 trading sessions. The index itself has lost 1471 points or 5.6%. This is one of the steepest and the quickest declines that one has witnessed over the last 4 years, and it seems to be getting worse given the cues that are coming in from all overseas markets except China. Let's look at them in each individual detail. We've seen the Nifty, as far as the index is concerned, as I have mentioned, shave about 1471 points over the last 6 trading sessions, and yesterday's low 24,700 was something that was tested by the bulls, but as far as the index is concerned, you have seen it break below the 50-day exponential moving average, and it is now headed towards the 100-day exponential average, which is pretty far off, 24,372. The cues that are coming in from GIFT Nifty are about a 140 point gap down. Let us see how it happens, but all rallies from intraday lows seem to be resulting in heavy selling pressure. Let's analyze what the pain points are. This whole crisis is because of the tensions that are there in the Middle East between Israel and Iran. Last week, same day, Tuesday, Iran fired about 180 to 200 ballistic missiles towards Israel. The response from Israel is yet to come, and it is because of that delay in response that the markets are falling rapidly. Now, what has happened during that time is crude oil. Crude oil prices have gone up by 12 percentage points in the last 6 sessions. They are now inching above $80 a barrel, up 4% in the last 1 session, and of course highest since August 13th. That's almost a 2-month high, and they are now aggressively approaching the 200-day DMA from below. That essentially means that they are gathering strength, and you will see them go above. Higher crude oil prices are extremely negative for Indian equity markets because we import about 80 to 85% of our crude oil needs, and because crude oil is getting expensive, it's the balance sheet of the country that gets impacted negatively, and in turn you see valuations coming off the rack. Remember, just on 26th of September, the Nifty hit an all-time high of 26,277. Money making was actually becoming very, very easy, and that's the reason why you see this sharp sell-off that has happened. Apart from crude oil prices, you see the US 10-year yield, which is again a rise in US 10-year yield essentially means that risk of trade for equities begins. The US 10-year yield is now inching towards 4 percentage points. This is the highest since July 31st, and it's rising for the 4th day in a row. All this put together has put pressure on Wall Street, which in turn is putting pressure on Indian equity markets. You see this very sharp sell-off that happened by foreign institutional investors. Net sales in the last 6 sessions, ladies and gentlemen, are now to the tune of 50,000 crore rupees. What also is negative is the fact that you have a lot of indices such as the mid cap and the small cap index now breaking 100-day moving averages. They are at 2-3 month lows, and this selling pressure seems to be getting worse. Will today be the last day of selling? Only time will tell, but this is the broad background that we are observing. 1, US 10-year yield above 4%. 2, crude oil prices above $80 a barrel. 3, very heavy foreign institutional selling, and of course the most important one for domestic markets, which is the result of the Haryana and the J&K state elections. For the moment, the ruling BJP in the center is on the back foot as far as Haryana is concerned. Congress is headed towards a simple majority. 47 seats are in lead as far as the Congress is concerned, over 90 in Haryana, and that's a simple majority for you. The BJP is down 14 seats from its previous tally, leads only in 15 as far as Haryana is concerned. And in J&K, the Congress J&K NC combined is now ahead in 27 out of 49 seats, where results so far are counting so far is advanced. Both assemblies have 90 seats each. What else is happening? Well, extreme caution is advised to you, ladies and gentlemen. In the afternoon show today, I'll be presenting 3 funds which you can, if you're already invested, get back into them with an additional SIP, or you can start a fresh SIP in these funds. Remember, a 5.7% decline on the Nifty and a 7.8% decline on the Bank Nifty. The Bank Nifty itself has lost somewhere like 4,200 points over the last 6 sessions, and things are looking bleak even here. But it is the strength of the Indian equity markets, the purchases that domestic institutions are doing, which has offset this negative number that has come in. Domestic institution purchases over the last 6 sessions, are also to the tune of about 45,000 crore rupees. These are the SIPs that you and I have placed in the market, and now they are buying the same market cheaper and better. So do not stop your SIP. In fact, this would be a good time to add one at the moment. Mr. Gaurav Dua will be our guest for today. He works as Head of Capital Market Strategy at sharekhan.com. Mr. Dua, good morning to you and a very warm welcome. Of course, festive greetings to you, but bulls on the large street are on the back foot. How do you see sentiment within local traders and local investors, and what are you advising your HNI clients?
Very good morning, morning to you also, Shailji. Yes, finally the correction has set in. That is something I think a lot of investors were waiting for. You have had a good 1800 points drop on the Nifty from the all-time peak. And what we are telling our clients, we have given them a list of 5 to 8 stocks where they can start doing SIP. If you are a aggressive investor, you can also do a lump sum. Otherwise, what you can do is that you can start buying them on a weekly or a daily SIP basis. And I think that is going to help you if you have a view for about a year.
Okay. Gauravji, if you can be kind enough to share the names of those 4 or 5 stocks where you've recommended purchases via SIP method.
So, in the capital goods engineering space, we are asking them to start buying Larsen and Toubro. In the reality, DLF. In the banking and financials, what we like is SBI, Axis Bank, and also the HUDCO. On the consumer side, we are asking the clients to start looking at Indian Hotels, Titan, Dabur.
Okay, I've got the names down for our viewers, and we will try and analyze these stocks. I got DLF, LNT and HUDCO. I could not get the other 2 names in the housing space that you had mentioned apart from HUDCO.
So apart from HUDCO, banking space and financials, we like State Bank of India and Axis Bank. And from the consumer space, we are looking at Titan, Dabur, Indian Hotels, and also you can start bottom fishing in the Tata Motors. So this is a well diversified basket of stocks. They are mostly large cap stocks, because we have been saying this on your show that we are cautious on the small cap, micro cap space, and we believe that the risk reward is much better in the large cap over next 1 year.
Yes, this is a wonderful thought process that you've injected in our show, that large caps might provide a better sense of security and relative risk compared with smalls and mids, and the stocks that you've mentioned have not fallen as much as the broader markets have. Of course, L&T is below 200 DMA, but isn't Reliance also below 200 DMA? So there isn't, how should I say, much worry about L&T. There isn't much worry about SBI, Axis Bank, and of course Titan and Tata Motors. Both of them from the Tata stable came out with their second quarter updates, and especially for Titan, you've seen a very strong show, about 25% rise in retail sales, 26% rise in volume jewelry sales. Keep these stocks in mind, and then we will keep on discussing them over the day. Another thought that occurs to me, Gauravji, is whether the markets have fully priced in BJP's maybe electoral setback in Haryana and J&K within prices, or are these two states irrelevant?
So, prior to the election, the expectations anyway were pretty low. So I don't think the market was expecting them to win the elections of these states, and in fact, whatever this initial leads are showing, in fact, they are doing better than the expectation in in this J&K. So I don't think that is one of the reasons for this market being down. I think the biggest reasons for the fall has been that some of the hot money, hedge fund money, has moved for a technical trade from India to this thing China, and I think that bulk of that $4 to $5 billion that has been sold in past about a week is largely attributed to that. So I think that's a trade which has actually impacted the market, started this this pullback in the market.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, one must also realize that yesterday's, in fact, the last 5 days fall in the markets, or the 6-session fall in the markets, was very sharp. There is this possibility that you might see an equally sharp V-shaped recovery. We don't know whether that will start today, but there are signs that the worst part of the fall seems to be over. Remember, the advanced decline ratio for yesterday's trade was somewhere in the vicinity of 1:9, which is a fact that maybe the intensity of the fall will now start to ease, and both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty may start to consolidate at current levels. Remember, 5.6% correction on the Nifty in 6 sessions, a 7.8 percentage point correction in the Bank Nifty in the past 6 trading sessions, and the steepness of the fall was pretty dramatic. So there is this possibility that so many bad news are now out of the system. Haryana and JK in elections are there in the price. You see the output right there on our sister channel India Today. BJP is on the back foot on both of them, so that price seems to be absorbing that. There is nothing new happening between Israel and Iran. Let's hope sane sense prevails. So my point is that probably, just as Gauravji is trying to point out, these might be the days to start that critical SIP, which you were not looking at. Of course, Mr. Dua has mentioned 8 stocks, of them about 7 or 8, 7 at least are large caps. We'll be keeping an eye on them. Gauravji, apart from that, what is your call on crude oil prices? They have also, in fact, they have been the second top reason for this correction that we've seen in domestic equities, apart from, of course, excessive valuations. Your view on ONGC against the backdrop of rising crude oil prices?
So crude oil have this across the $80 mark, which obviously is sentimentally not good for the oil and gas stock and also for the Indian equity market. But I don't think this is something which will have a major impact on this market, We have seen for a long time crude like hovering between the $75 to 85 this thing dollar. As long as we are in that range and we don't this thing reach that range and go this thing beyond $88, 90 $90, I don't think it's an issue. In fact, the support for the market today has actually come from from this in China. In China, if you see, there was a lot of hope that along with the stimulus measures provided by this government, their planning this body, which is called NDRC, will come up, and they will also provide some kind of a boost. There were hopes that they will talk about issuance of Chinese this thing, green bonds. However, that is not happened, and that is why we are seeing that the Chinese market and this thing Hang have been down in past half an hour or so, and I think this continuation of stimulus, which is not as per the hope now, will actually lead to some slowdown on the outflows from India as a technical trade to China. So I think this actually is a positive news for the Indian stock market, and I think that Indian market bulls will be able to defend 24,500 mark. So that is why this we've been saying that this is the time when you can start nibbling into the market.
Okay, as Gaurav ji has very rightly mentioned that the Chinese markets opened for trade after a 5-day holiday for the Chinese New Year, and while they have rallied very sharply, but today's markets on the Hang Seng and the Chinese equities show signs of profit booking, and whether that will impact positively on India, only time will tell. The GIFT Nifty now, ladies and gentlemen, is showing a positive uptick of 30 points, although in the morning it was down about 140. So 140 plus 30 is actually the uptick after a 6-day fall. But what we'll do is, before markets open, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get in our associate editor for Business Today Television, Chetan Bhotani. He has a lot of news coming in for Ola Electric, which is in all sorts of problems when it comes to its after sales service. Falling market share and falling share price are also two of them. Chetan, good morning, a very warm welcome. What do you have for our viewers?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. Well, the central government has stepped in to address concerns of several inefficiencies by Ola Electric as far as its service efficiencies are concerned, because about 10,644 odd complaints in the past 1 year have been addressed on the National Consumer Helpline 1915, which is a part of Department of Consumer Affairs, and the government body, which is the Central Consumer Protection Authority, the CCPA, which is a regulatory body under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, has issued a show cause notice to Ola Electric, asking to respond within 15 days as to what the consumers have been facing, and if there is appearing to be in violation of several provisions of the Consumer Provision Act. Also, what the crux of the notice says, which Business Today TV accessed and was the first to break this news, that out of this, about nearly 1/3 were delays in providing service for its e-scooters. Another about 2,000 involved delays in the delivery of the new vehicles, and of course the gist of the show cause notice pointed to the allegation of manufacturing defects, instances of second-hand vehicles being sold, partial or no refunds for booking cancellations, recurring defects despite servicing, overcharging, inaccurate invoices, and multiple issues with vehicle components as well. Lastly, Shail, I'd like to point out that complaints have also been registered alleging unprofessional conduct and improper complaint closures, among other issues as well. So the Ola Electric would of course be responding to the notice within the stipulated time, and Business Today TV will be again on the top of it, and so we'll have to wait and watch as to what the company says. In an NSE notification, they have informed the exchanges after Business Today TV broke the news So we'll have to wait and watch as to what really the reply of Ola Electric will be.
Right, and Chetan, congratulations for this wonderful news break that you have for our viewers. Ola Electric, ladies and gentlemen, is having a terrible time on the markets as well. The price that you see on Ola Electric is now the lowest since 9th of August. It got listed on 8th, and that was the big candle, the 20% rise that you had seen on Ola. After a very tepid listing, it just shot up. But prices are now corrected very sharply from a high of 153 to 90 rupees, and that is because of very adverse publicity that has come in across the country in terms of rising complaints, ineffective after sales service, and of course apart from that, a fall in market share compared with the other two-wheeler giants in the EV space. The markets are upon us, ladies and gentlemen. 100-point downtick on the Nifty. Let us see how this happens. Now 24,700 will be retested. Let us see whether the Nifty will hold that back or you will see selling pressure coming in. Let's start with the positives for a change. Look at L&T. This is something that Mr. Dua has suggested. This counter is below 200 DMA. One of the finest balance sheets, ladies and gentlemen. The strongest order book in corporate India. This infrastructural giant is now 30 rupees higher at 3,500. Let us see whether this will continue or not. Defensive market, Hindustan Unilever 22 rupees higher. And what is in pain? Okay, HDFC Bank selling pressure continues. 17 rupees lower, 1,600 for you. How about Reliance? These two counters have borne the brunt of very heavy selling by foreign institutional investors. 11 rupees lower, 27.30. In pain is Tata Motors, now at 9.16, 11 rupees lower. Let's dip into the broader markets. NSE 500 is I wanted to see. Okay, let me give you some good news. Tata Technologies 2% higher, 1,047. Oil India 1.75% higher, 556.5. The Nifty is improving, ladies and gentlemen. It was down 100 points. It's now down just 53 points. Let's look at the most active list and any gainers or losers here that might make sense. These are not stocks that are worth mentioning in the opening quote. A lot of flicker happens, but let's get Gaurav back into the conversation. Mr. Dua, this is a sensible opening, down just 53.
Yes, as I said, bad news in this thing, China is turning out to be supportive for Indian markets, and because of this press conference by NDRC, after that the gift Nifty was down on 120 points actually turned into plus, and I think this is what is going to be this thing supportive for the market. Also, as per whatever we hear from the institutional side or the desk, that bulk of the hot money has already exited India, looking for opportunities in this in China. So I think that is why I said that there is a likelihood that the bulls will be able to defend 24,500 level, and that is the time when you start doing your SIP in those stocks that you've been leading to buy. Most of the stocks that I have spoken about are down by 10, 12, 15% from their all-time highs, and I think this is an opportunity in these stocks.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there will also be a very serious bout of short covering. Remember, for every single crore rupee that FIIs have turned in as net sales, the domestic institutions have pumped in almost an equal amount of money. So they have cushioned this fall, and a lot of shorts might have also been coming in the F&O space in frontline counters to take benefit from this downtick. if the market reverses or shows signs of stability at 24,700, it was tested yesterday, and from then on you see the Nifty now getting back up in the green, you will have a very strong bout of short covering, which will again push prices higher. So yesterday's test of 24,700 was critical. The index ended at 24,795. It's just tested it again. It's back up 24,800. Let us see how prices stack up. Now amongst the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, I have 7 of them in the green, and L&T leading the charge 1% higher. Remember, this is the first stock Gaurav had uttered that should be bought in a SIP fashion. Kotak Mahindra Bank about flat. ICICI Bank 0.5% higher. HDFC Bank 0.5% higher. Lever 4 rupees 6 paisa higher. Bajaj Finance in the green, Axis in the green. Much will depend upon what the first 15 minutes hold for the market, because that is when institutions decide the fate of the rest of the day. So we will remain quiet, but this is what is critical. Will 24,800 hold for the Nifty, and will short covering take over when you see a massive uptick coming in? Most active counters, ladies and gentlemen, we have there isn't a decent price that I would like to mention. Chalet Hotels 1.7% higher, 844. This is a small cap within the hospitality space. BASF 2.4% higher, 8433. Let's look at the counters that our friend Gaurav has suggested. I would like to look at a few names. SBI, the counter is now 50 paise higher, 771. Axis Bank 5 rupees 30 higher at 1151. How about Tata Motors, still 11 rupees lower? So that is how it is. Let's look at Titan. Titan came out with a strong set of numbers, 3589. We don't have an opening quote, it's still where it is, and the rest we will watch within the FMCG space. I want to see what Dabur is doing. Dabur at the moment, right there in front of you, Dabur is quoting at 569.35, not much of a quote. But the Nifty now 36 points higher, 24,832. It was a very bold call that you came you gave in, Gaurav, and anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, so we are not talking about these stock in terms of intraday trades. What we are saying is that you need to buy it, this accumulated in a range. And talking about the upside, we believe that there is a lot of call writing which has happened on 24,800 and and this is 25,000. So to break that will not be easy. What will be our this in base case would be in the near term that we consolidate between this range for this thing sometime. However, we still remain cautious on small cap, micro cap. We believe that there could be still some more pain on that side.
Absolutely. When markets are in a funk and there is this question on the credibility of the rally, then it is always best to sort of stick your neck out, if at all, into large caps, and mostly in the top 5, top 7. And look at Gaurav's wonderful choices. State Bank of India, India's largest public sector bank. L&T, India's largest construction giant. DLF, India's biggest real estate play. Titan, of course, the top jewelry maker, and Tata Motors, the biggest the biggest commercial vehicle maker. Of course, Dabur is a market leader in its own right. Indian Hotels is India's biggest chain of luxury hotels, and of course, HUDCO is the top lender to the housing markets. Again, Gaurav, I have no words to sort of express this wonderful choice of stocks that you've suggested, and maybe a good sip in all 8 of them should work very well. Remember, all of them are down anywhere between 9 to 14% from their all-time highs. The maximum selling pressure has come into HUDCO. I remember a high of 330, the counter is somewhere like 220. So that's easily a 33% correction, but the stock itself had gone up very sharply. Markets have settled. We see a 257 point uptick on Nifty Bank, 36 point uptick on Nifty. Whether these will hold or not, only time will tell, but the first 15 minutes will be the most crucial. Gaurav, you haven't mentioned an IT stock. The reason why I point this out is that IT over the last 3-4 sessions has actually helped the Nifty cushion this fall. Any favorites there?
So, in last about a month and a half, where I've been on your shows, I've been asking and I've been saying that you should take some money off the table from infra, capital goods, engineering, and increase your exposure to IT and pharma. So that's a space where you could hide, and I think that is still a space where you could hide. But these stocks that we have this thing shortlisted are those which are actually come down from their all-time highs by 10 to 12 to 15%, and this they offer an opportunity. Whereas IT stocks haven't actually seen that kind of a fall. So basically, the idea was to take advantage of this, this is volatility. Having this thing said, this we still believe that IT and pharma are likely to be the outperformers over next 1 year.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at Ola Electric. This is the news break that you just saw from Chetan Putani about the show cause notice sent by the relevant ministry. The counter is now 5% lower and at almost the price on its listing day, at least at listing day bar, when it had opened about 73-74 rupees against an issue price of 70, if I'm not mistaken. And from then on, you have the price right there in front of you. So this is the lowest since the 9th August listing of Ola. Let us see how markets react to it. Gaurav, what are the chances that Ola will go below its offer price of 72 rupees?
So, all the new age IPOs that we have seen, right from Zomato to Nykaa to Paytm, all have given you opportunities where they have gone below their offer price, okay? Substantially below the offer price, in fact. So I don't see any distinct difference here. You see what is happening in past 2-3 months is that Ola Electric is losing its market share. That itself was a sign that there is a scope for a pullback here. And this has been a trend. So we always tell our clients, whenever there is a new IPO, new age company listing, don't try to chase the stock. You, as an investor, will get an opportunity to buy at much better levels.
Okay, is this a consolidation zone that we will see? Only time will tell, but let me just mark the high beta space, which is the PSU markets, ladies and gentlemen. MOIL, manganese ore, is the top gainer, 1.5% higher, 367. Dredging Corp in the green, 1.3% higher, 1067. J&K Bank, Maharashtra Bank in the green. Let's look at defense. Remember, this was beaten black and blue. Is there a green tick? Barely. BEML, BDL trying to open in the green. How about any other stocks that I'd like to mark? I'll keep that to the front line. Let's look at what the mid cap index is showing in terms of green. Okay, high beta, GMR Infra 1.8% higher, 86.8. Nykaa 1% higher, 196. Coforge 1% higher, 72.74. Paytm a percent higher at 657. Let's look at the situation as far as the results are concerned. Okay, Congress is leading in 59 seats out of 89 that have been counting is on. Remember, the 90 Haryana Assembly is for 90 seats. It's a clear win. 28 seats higher for the Congress in Haryana, and in J&K, out of 90 seats, 87 have been started to count. The National Conference is leading in 50. The PDP is down 24, and of course the BJP is at 29. Not much of a change here. Prices are upon us, ladies and gentlemen. A very quick look at what the Nifty is doing. 36 points higher. Bank Nifty 200 points higher. These are reversals that are coming from major support levels. Will they hold? Only time will tell, but let's always remain hopeful. The IT index, which has been the flag bearer of hope on the Nifty, is also in the green. Let's look at individual stocks as far as prices are concerned. Okay, L&T is 9 rupees 50 higher. The market is completely defensive, ladies and gentlemen. Hindustan Unilever is 48 rupees higher, 1.7% up. Of course, these are early prices. SBI in the green, 3 rupees 35 higher. Infosys in the green, almost a rupee higher. What are the stocks that are lagging? I want to see what HDFC Bank is doing. Okay, 12 rupees higher. This is positive, ladies and gentlemen. 1630. How about Reliance? 6 rupees lower, 2735. What is in pain? Tata Motors. Okay, 22 rupees lower, 904. TCS 21 rupees lower, 4251. Most active counters in NSE 500. Let us see what is the mood. Okay, there is more red than green. Doesn't matter. This is the first 15 minutes. Let us see what happens. M&M 1.5% higher, 3105. BSE 1.9% higher, 3900. ICICI Bank is in the green. NMDC for some reason is down 6% at 214. National Aluminium down 5% at 203. This is the China reopening trade that is happening. Zomato in the green. RVNL in pain, 3.5% lower. That is how it is as far as opening is concerned, ladies and gentlemen. Very quickly, what we'll do is we'll dive into the advanced decline ratio, still in favor of bears. 750 stocks in the green, 1344 in the red. So 1:2. We tracked 19 indices for you. Out of 19, 6 of them are in the green, led by the Nifty Financial Services Index, whose weekly expiry it is today. And the Alpha 50, the Nifty Energy and the Realty indices are still in pain. We'll wait for the first 15 minutes. Gaurav, your view on Tata Motors. What exactly is prompting this very heavy selling pressure from 1150 to now almost 900? You've given a SIP format buy on this one, but what is the cause of this pain?
So whenever there are like some issues across the world, Tata Motors will always underperform because it's got a huge exposure to US, UK, and also this in China. However, we see a lot of this in triggers there. Q2, of course, the JLR volumes were weak. However, the outlook for H2 is much better. And if the stimulus in China has some impact, we believe that the volumes in this in China will also improve. So looking at that, after a good 200 rupees plus fall from the top, I think this stock offers a very good opportunity for anywhere between 25 to 30% appreciation over next month.
Okay, that's a very good thought that is coming. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, one must be fearless when it comes to how prices are. Tata Motors was supposed to be a great buy at 1150. Now, what was the all-time high? The all-time high was 1178, which we saw on 30th of July. And the same counter is now available at 904. So, one must be fearless when it comes to buying quality. and if you can do it in SIP format, that's wonderful. So keep an eye out on Tata Motors. This is not to say that the low has been made at 904, but what is to be said is that you are buying a quality stock which is now available 22% lower, and that is what needs to be kept in mind. Let's also look at how prices are moving across the broader market. Let me just set up the broader space. Just profit booking is all I see. The Nifty is flattening out. Maybe you'll see a green tick. Bank Nifty moving up. Remember, Gaurav has said that SBI and Axis Bank are his stock picks. 776 on SBI and Axis Bank is at 1155. While these are prices for today, but what needs to be kept in mind is where the stock has corrected from. Look at State Bank of India. It hit a high on June 4th. That was the election day result. Before that, one day before, and now it is at 200-day DMA. We will have Ruchit Jain joining us. Very good morning to you, Ruchit, and a very warm welcome. Your very quick view on SBI. The bounce today is from 200-day moving average.
Yeah, hi, very good morning to everyone. We have seen that in last few trading sessions, most of the banking names have seen a corrective phase. But PSU banks have not seen that much correction because they had already corrected earlier, and the up move, there was no significant long positions where unwinding was seen. So I think hence the downside seems to be limited from here in some of the large PSU names such as SBI is there. So I think as the 200 DMA support is also there, so the price wise correction seems very limited from here on. On the high side, 800 to 820 is the immediate resistance zone which needs to be taken out for resumption of the broader degree uptrend. But at least in the near term, we expect the stock to consolidate within this broad range of 800, 820 on the higher side and 750, 760 on the lower side.
Okay, Ruchit, your two stocks for today's trade, and one is the worst over for the Nifty. Do you see it entering the consolidation phase? 24,800 is with the bulls. It's too early to say, but your gut feel.
So I think we would at least see a bounce back. The recent correction has mainly been because of FIS selling. FIS started the October series with a long short ratio of about 81%. And historically, we have seen that whenever their long short ratio reaches 80 to 85% range, market forms a short term top and corrects from there because they unwind the position once they have these long heavy positions, and that's what exactly we have seen in last 1 week. So FIs have sold in the cash segment. They were sellers. They have formed short positions in the index future segment. So their long short ratio have declined from 81% at the start of October series to now around 46%. Means there are more positions on the short side. But if you look at the setups technically, then after this recent correction, the RSI readings on the lower time frame are in oversold zone. Secondly, if you look at the PCR of Nifty, that is around 0.64, which is also oversold. So I think yes, if not a resumption of the uptrend, then at least a pullback move should be seen. So I think it would be too early to say that the markets would bottom out over here, but things are oversold, so we should see a pullback move at least in the near term. So one can trade for a pullback move towards 25,200 to 25,300 on the Nifty.
Okay, whether this is a dead cat bounce, only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, but short covering is setting in. The pace of the rally and the buying is phenomenal. 24,810 on the Nifty, just 14 points higher. Remember, it is not a question of 14 points. It is a question whether what is the texture of the market as of now. Let's look at again the advanced decline ratio. And remember, I had mentioned 750 stocks were in the red. Now 750 stocks were in the green. Now 1050 stocks are in the green. So this dip is being purchased into. Only 1150 stocks are in the red. Let's look at the most important advanced decline, which is in the NSE 500. For the moment, it's almost 1:1. 237 stocks in the green, 259 in the red. How about the mid cap index? Okay, 46 stocks in the green, 53 in the red. And how about the small cap index? Okay, 58 in the green, 42 in the red. So here the advanced decline is favoring the bulls. Let us hope it gets better and better. And so far you have the Nifty IT index as the top loser, nothing to be worried about. This was the index that had happened, that had helped the Nifty over the last 5 sessions. Let's just look at stocks that have hit record highs. This is something that I check with great frequency. Nothing today, but Paytm 4% higher, 680. Gaurav ji, your view on Paytm, is this something to look at or should we avoid? Okay, take it. Ruchit, your view on Paytm, worth it at 687 or should we stay away?
If any existing positions are there, then they could hold on for now. The stock is trading above its 40 EMA support, and recently that high top high bottom structure which has been formed from the lows, that is still intact. I won't recommend fresh long because the stop losses are too deep from current levels. The major support, the 100 EMA, is coming around 654, while that 40 EMA which we talked about, that is around 627. So if any existing positions, those are bought at lower levels, they can continue to hold with the stop loss below 620, but not recommended for fresh buy.
Fair point. A very quick view on Paytm, Gaurav. What is the research team at Sher Khan telling you about Paytm? Is it worthwhile at current levels or should investors stay away? I'm just talking about long-term investors. I'm not talking about today or 6 months, maybe a 2-year horizon.
So, we don't have active listing coverage on the stock, so I'll not be able to comment. But however, in this space, Zomato and this Policy Bazaar are the 2 stocks that look is very interesting for us.
Okay. Policy Bazaar, of course, clarified to the shareholders that it's not getting into, how should I say, constructing and making hospitals, it's getting into managing them. Remember, it's India's largest online insurer. There was a dip in the price, but that worked very well for those people who wanted to get back into the counter. And of course, Zomato consolidating near record highs. Let's look at prices for both of them in front of the screen. And what we'll do is we'll ask Ruchit to take a view on at least Zomato. Let's look at the price of Zomato. It's mostly on the top traded, 1.5% higher, 270. Ruchit, what are the charts telling you?
Overall chart structure is quite positive. We have seen that in past as well, in last 2 quarters, whenever there has been in between declines, the declines have been used as a buying opportunity by investors. And here too, the downside from current levels seems to be very limited. The stock is trading around its first support only, which is at 260 levels. And in case 260 is breached, then 240 is the midterm support level which is there. So downside seems to be very limited from here, and I think one should use this dips as a buying opportunity. Not entirely, but at least partial quantity should be bought at current levels with the room to average in case the stock dip towards that 240-250 range.
Okay, the first 15 minutes will lapse in the next 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay. The Nifty is trying to sort of remain above 24,829. And what will be the most critical point is the advance decline. Let us see what that number is. Remember, I started with 750 advances, then I told you 1050, now they are 1100. The broader range is improving for the bulls. This is the short covering at work. What is in the green? We started with 5 indices in the green. Now the number has increased to 10. Let's look at the advance decline ratio in the mid cap and the small cap index. Okay, mid cap is still favoring bears. Only 42 out of 100 are in the green. How about small cap? 54.46. It's the same. It's a dramatic improvement in the overall texture of the market, ladies and gentlemen. I'll mark PSUs. Remember, they were the highest beta counter. Gaurav, I have to hand it to you. Look at the stocks that you had recommended. HUDCO, 3% higher. This is the second best performing counter in the PSU space. My congratulations to you. We'll get Ruchit. Ruchit, 216 on HUDCO. Is this a place to put in at least a decent sip? What do you think are the charts of HUDCO telling you?
Yes, one can keep a strategy to start buying at current levels, and major long-term support for the stock is around 180 kind of levels. So even if we see any further correction, then we do not see the stock going below that 180 mark where good long-term support is placed. But you never know where the stocks would make a bottom in current correction. So better start buying at current levels and keep room that in case if you get such dips towards 200 or 180, you keep buying, adding more positions to your portfolio. So I think that's the maximum, that's the entire range where one should look for buying HUDCO.
Okay, Gaurav, everything that you had mentioned is now in the green. Whether this is a dead cat bounce, only time will tell. But a view on the market, 9:15 is upon us, and the first 15 minutes, the green tick on the Nifty has held. The Bank Nifty has actually improved, now 0.5% higher, thanks to SBI and Axis Bank, which you had pointed out. Gaurav, this was for you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, see, as I said, lot of the public sector bank have already underperformed, and SBI given a decent fall correction. Axis Bank again has been underperforming from 1380, 1400, it is down to around 1160. So these couple of very good quality names have already lost around 17-18% or more from the peak. And this is the time when you start this thing buying the stock. So we always tell the investors that please don't keep looking at this Nifty. You need there are a lot of good stocks also that offer you opportunity to buy 10%, 15% lower from their peak, and that should be the strategy rather than keep following this thing Nifty and not this thing end up investing at all.
Okay, that's a fantastic view that is coming in from Gaurav. Let me just highlight some spaces which are showing signs of revival. Railway stocks, RVNL, RailTel, IRCON, up 2.5% and 3.7% respectively. Remember, these were thrashed black and blue. Both of them were down 8% yesterday, and of course are way off their all-time highs. Let's look at RVNL. I'll also try and show you what is the all-time high for the count. How quickly can I get that for you? Okay, we'll just add that to our system. But that's how prices are moving, ladies and gentlemen, very sharply. Nifty is now testing 24,800 again. Let us see what happens. But the underlying tenor of the market seems to be improving. Gaurav, before we let you go, would you have a view on cement counters? Any favorites there?
So yes, there what we see that one of the quality stocks which have come down very sharply and this offers you this opportunity to accumulate is Ambuja Cement. So that's, I think, one stock which medium-term investors can actually start looking at. However, mind you, Q2 results of most of the cement companies are not going to be good. Volume growth have been extremely muted. Pricing has also not been good. So and there is a weakness in the infrastructure spending by by the government of India, which is also hurting the sentiments. So that's a space, I think, which will give you a lot of opportunity to buy over next month.
Okay. 9:34, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get Ruchit into conversation. Ruchit, what are you observing? Anything that catches your fancy? The Nifty Bank is now posting a triple century, 300 points higher. The bounce from 100-day exponential moving average is very strong. Ruchit, your views. What looks good and anything that you would want to contribute on Nifty Bank?
So I'll start with the Nifty Bank. We have seen a very sharp correction in last few trading sessions, and that there too we are witnessing oversold setups. So such oversold setups usually leads to pullback moves, at least in the near term. So I think in the near term we could see some pullback move, but yes, volatility is likely to remain high. That is for sure, considering the last few days of movement. The index has good support around 50,200 to 50,300 range. So any declines toward that 50,200, 50,300 can be used for buying opportunity with stop loss below 49,800, and a pullback move again towards 51,400, 450 can be expected. Now in this up move, if comes from here, I think those stocks are oversold within the banking or the NBFC space also. So I think that can be seen for buying. So Cholamandalam Investment would be one stock within this entire space where momentum readings are quite oversold. The stock has a good support around 1440 to 1460 range. So here I think one can look for buying opportunities with stop loss below 1440 for a potential targets around 1530.
Okay, and before we let you go, Gaurav, one very quick view on the pharma space. What would be the top pick for Sher Khan in the mid-cap pharma space for the next 1 year or so?
So Zydus Life has been a stock that we've been buying. We believe that's a quality company with extremely good good pipeline. Sun Pharma in the large cap. The rest of the few stocks, like I have also talked about this Biocon in your show. That I think is this a value pick. However, it's a stock which is actually been this disappointment for us.
Okay. Again, thank you so much for your time, Gaurav, and one of the best discussions in many weeks that we've had with you. The quality was superb. We'll keep these 8 stocks in mind, and let's hope that the worst is behind us. Festive greetings, all the best to you, everybody in the family, and of course the customers and employees at Sher Khan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shailji. I will also want to say that most of the stocks that I have spoken about are basically been recommended in our funds and also been advised to our clients. So we have a vested interest in all these stocks. Thank you so much, and all the best to you.
Of course. With that disclaimer, Gaurav, have a nice day, and of course a great year ahead. Thank you. 9:37, ladies and gentlemen. The 24,800 level on the Nifty is getting tested. These are stressful times because it's the IT stocks which are facing very heavy selling pressure. The index itself is down 1.26% within the software space. Other things look good. Whether this will sort of keel over and again sort of come into the selling zone, only time will tell. But let's get Ruchit into the conversation. Ruchit, what looks good and what is again slipping?
Today you can clearly see selling pressure in IT and metals, and these were two sectors which had not corrected in last few trading sessions. So one can clearly see some unwinding happening over there. So at least for today's trading session, that selling pressure could continue, and that I think would keep movement restricted in the Nifty. The 89-day exponential moving average for Nifty is coming around 24,550 to 600 range. So I think in case because of IT, if we see some dip towards the 24,550, 600, I think that's where the momentum readings, because of that oversold zone, markets would try to form a short-term bottom. So I don't think that these are the levels where one should look for shorting opportunities in the index, because remember we had made a high of around 26,270 just about a week ago. So from 26 to 270 we are already down to 24,750, and we are talking about more 150 to 200 points only on the lower side side where good support is there. So I think these are not good levels to form fresh short positions, but yes, any panic towards 24,550, 600 range can be used for buying, to create some buying over there. But yes, clearly sector rotation has been seen today. Pharma relatively can do better. Banking NBFC, which has already taken some hit in last few trading sessions, and where some short covering could happen.
Okay, 9:40. The first 25 minutes of trade is upon us. Let us look at outperformance. I'd like to watch all-time highs. Yes, it's possible to watch all-time highs in a market which is correcting very sharply. Okay. 10 Wala Chemicals. Remember, yesterday I pointed at 20% uptick on 10 Wala. Today it's up another 15.5%. I'm not sure of the reason, but the stock is in top orbit. Okay, what else is in the green? Stocks that I would like to mention on air, except for 10 Wala Chemicals, I don't want to mention any other stock which is at a record high. Okay, now let's move to the best stocks, which means gainers, which are in thick trade. Okay. Any name that I would like to mark apart from 10 Wala? Okay, this is PG Electroplast. I had marked a downtick yesterday. The counters reversed 5.3% higher. Fairly strong volume. That's the reason why I mark. 28 crores worth of transactions have already happened. Okay, we will just stick to this name. Paytm 4.5% higher. 287 crores have been traded, and Precision Wires 183 rupees, 4% higher. About 5 crores worth of transactions have happened. These are the only stocks that I would like to mark from this very strong list of counters. Okay, top traded, we've marked BSE, Bajaj Housing Finance. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is also one of the stunning IPOs that got listed and came under heavy selling pressure for the last 6 sessions. Would you believe it? Bajaj Housing Finance actually went below its listing day low, 130 rupees. Very few ticks in terms of charts, but Ruchit, this is fresh buying at a dramatically lower level. Remember, Bajaj Housing Finance listed with a 100% uptick, then went all the way high to 188. From there, today's low is 130. Ruchit, Bajaj Housing.
Well, very difficult for me to give any view on this because it has recently listed and very less historical data is there. But just if I look at the intraday charts, then 130 is the support for the stock, and the stock has seen a bounce back exactly from 130.35. So 130 on an intraday basis is a good support for the stock, and on pullback moves, resistance is around 146 and 155.
Okay, but remember, technicals work very erratically on lesser price data. I am just marking the fact that Bajaj Housing, which was the most talked about IPO, is actually below its listing price. What was the IPO price? Let me just get that. I think it was 70 rupees, if I am not wrong. Just let me find that out. Yes, 70 rupees was the IPO price for Bajaj Housing. It listed at I think 140, if I am not mistaken. 1 second. Yes, it opened at 150. So it was more than 100% rise. After opening at 150, it closed at 164. In the next 3 days, it hit 188, and from then on, you've seen profit booking coming in. Today, of course, some respite. So against an IPO price of 70 rupees, the stock was available at 130 rupees a couple of minutes ago. Almost first half an hour of trade, the battle is at 24,800 for the Nifty. The banks are showing strength. 0.7% higher on the Nifty bank, and almost everything is looking good. HDFC Bank 1% higher, ICICI Bank 0.7% higher, Axis Bank 1.75% higher, and of course SBI 1.1% higher. The Nifty is back in the green after testing 24,800 for the last 10-15 minutes. Let us see what happens for the next 15. Ruchit, what are you observing?
I think banking has taken the leadership today again. So I think because IT is under pressure, so we may not see any significant move in the Nifty today. Because one heavyweight is keeping the momentum intact while other heavyweight is dragging the index down. So on the index front, we may see some range-bound activity because of this. But yes, there would be more of a sector-specific movement today, it seems.
Okay, the Nifty Bank is now 400 points higher, ladies and gentlemen. The rally is gathering steam, and it will be the short covering specifically on HDFC Bank which will now probably drive the momentum on the higher side. Ditto for ICICI Bank. Of course, Axis and SBI did not see so much of selling pressure, but these two were bashed beyond belief. So keep an eye out on these two. And of course, I am again mentioning that advanced decline ratio on the broader markets is now 1:1. Okay, actually it's much better. 1224 stocks in the green, 1052 in the red. Remember, when we started, it was 750 stocks in the green. So this bottom is being purchased, or is it short covering? Only time will tell. But we started with just 5 indexes in the green. Now out of 19, 16 indices are in the green. Is this a bottom that the market has set? Only time will tell. But now 24,800 is where bulls are taking a stand. The Nifty is 51 points higher, and in a span of just 50 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, the Bank Nifty has added another 100 points. Now 485 points. You are going to see probably the mother of all short coverings today in the market. What are you observing, Ruchit? Is the worst behind for at least today, or could this be a dead cat bounce?
So at least a good bounce is expected. It will be too early to say that markets will bottom out today.
Yes.
But yes, as we said that things were oversold after the recent correction. PCR was around 0.64, which is also oversold. So both derivatives data as well as technical setup seems oversold, and generally such oversold setups leads to a pullback move. I think 25,200, 25,300 in the near term, a pullback move should be seen over there. But I think in the pullback move, the relative outperformer could be banking and NBFC space, because Nifty index could be restricted by the correction in the IT space. But no, there has been short formation in the banking stocks where some short covering move could be there. So can expect some relative outperformance from the banking space, and broader markets also post opening seems a good buying interest is there today.
Okay, the most important point to note today would be the intraday pivot for the Nifty, which is at 24,877. We are now at 24,847. Today's early morning uptick was fairly sharp. It had actually moved from there only, and the Nifty, ladies and gentlemen, is showing signs of strength, at least on the 15-minute chart. But it's the first 1 hour candle which will be of extreme importance. Remember, this could be a false start. Only time will tell. Let's hope that the worst is behind us now that the election results are out. In Haryana, out of 90 seats that are being counted, the Congress is ahead in, this is really interesting. 40, BJP is ahead in 5 seats. This is looking to be good in Haryana. This is very interesting. The BJP is right at a simple majority of 45 seats out of 90, where counting has already begun. The Congress is at 41. तो ये कांटे की टक्कर चल रही है बाजार में, and I think that is what is getting reflected on the markets, that the BJP is making a comeback in Haryana. Remember, all polls gave the Congress a lead, but here is the BJP doing pretty well. Of course, the BJP was not in the reckoning as far as the JK elections were concerned, but even there, out of 90 seats, BJP has 23 leads. It is down 7. Nevertheless, it's a good show. But Haryana, ladies and gentlemen, is an amazing turnaround. Now BJP is ahead in 7 seats. My apologies, 47 seats, which is a plus of 7. Let us see how it happens. But okay, the pivot has been taken out, ladies and gentlemen, 24,884, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the time to look at an option trade, and that would be the 24,900 call expiring on 10th of October. 24,900 call is at 170 rupees. I am requesting the PCR if they can please show it on air. Ruchit, would you chase this one?
Yes, one can buy this for a pullback move. As we said that we are eyeing 25,200. So in case if the market showed some up move around those levels, then we could see some good momentum in this too. No, traders are advised to keep strict stop losses considering that volatility is likely to remain high. But yes, you can expect on the higher side levels around 250, 260 maybe in intraday itself.
Okay, let me just give you the high that this call had hit. It was 1400 rupees on 27th of September, ladies and gentlemen. It bottomed out at 119 today morning. We are now at 171. We will keep an eye out on this one. I am talking about the 24,900 Nifty call expiring on October 10th. This is a great swing trade in the making. The pivot is now with the bulls. Let us see what the 10 o'clock 15-minute bar says. But this is a dramatic change in sentiment as far as Haryana is concerned. Out of 90 seats, the BJP is leading in 47. Remember, people had written off the BJP in Haryana. So that's how it is as far as prices are concerned. Anything that catches your fancy, Ruchit?
So within the stock specific moves, Lalpath Lab is looking positive over here. Firstly, the stock has shown a good relative outperformance during corrective phase of last 1 week. And here the momentum seems to be very positive. Yesterday we witnessed some correction in the stock, and again from 3400, 3370 range, the stock has witnessed buying interest. So I think Lalpath Lab is one stock which I'm looking at. Could head further higher towards 3620, 3610 kind of levels. So one can look for buying Lalpath Lab, keeping stop loss below 3400 for targets around 3620.
Okay, 83 points higher on the Nifty, 24,879. The Bank Nifty is just taking it away. Now 500 points higher, days high, 50,981. And in terms of contribution, ladies and gentlemen, I just have to strain my neck. Okay, HDFC Bank is bringing in 33 points, ICICI Bank is bringing in 15, L&T is bringing in 13 in the green, Reliance is bringing in 11. So it's looking to be a very good day. And let's look at again the most important criteria, which is the advanced decline ratio. What does it say? Now, ladies and gentlemen, 1580 stocks are in the green. Remember, we started at 750. So a hard bottom seems to have been set in. Let us see how it goes on. Now the advanced decline is firmly in favor of the bulls. 1582 stocks in the green compared with 700 in the red. We track 19 indices for you. Out of 19, 17 are in the green. The IT index, there is no problem at all, ladies and gentlemen. We will let it rest. It helped the Nifty over the last 5 sessions. A bit of a profit booking here, but the top gainer is the Nifty Alpha 50, which was, by the way, the top loser yesterday. Okay, advanced decline in the small cap index is now 74 is to 26. The index itself is up 0.7%. The Nifty Mid Cap Index again 0.7%. Out of 100 stocks, 78 are in the green, and in the widest measure, the NSE 500, 371 stocks are in the green compared with 500. And a large part of this rally is because of the stunning about turn in sentiment that has happened in Haryana. We don't know whether the counting is over or not, but out of 90 assembly seats, the BJP is leading in 48. The simple majority is at 45. That is how it is, and that's in Haryana. In J&K, out of 90 seats, it's the National Congress plus National Conference plus Congress combined that have 50 seats. The BJP is ahead on 23, which is -7 over its last year's performance. Coming back to you, Ruchit, what are you observing? The Nifty is now up 90 points, 1/3% higher.
So I think broader markets are doing well. Advanced decline ratio is quite strong today compared to what we have seen in last few trading sessions, and so this clearly indicates that the dip which is there in the market now, traders or investors may be getting some confidence of buying, looking for stock specific buying opportunities over here. So I think yes, seems to be some better stability compared to last few days.
Okay, what would you buy?
So I think over here, as if one was Lalpath Lab, which I had recommended, which is looking good. Second, I think from the defense space, HAL can be one stock which one can look for buying over here, because this stock has seen some correction. In fact, the entire defense space has went through a corrective phase. But HAL is one stock which has not broken its support of 4,000 level yet. So I think the stock is trading above that support. So here the risk reward ratio is favorable to take some contra trades for a pullback move towards 4,450. 4,400 range can be seen. So HAL is one stock which if one is looking for short-term trading opportunity, then one can go along with stop loss below 4120, which is yesterday's low, for potential pullback towards 4,400 to 4,450.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at least after 6 days of intense pain, there is some activity on the green side, and this is looking good. We track 88 PSUs for you. Out of 88, 80 are in the green, and the rally is led by Garden Reach 4% higher, Ingenious India 4% higher, RVNL 3.7% higher, HUDCO 3.5% higher, Mazgaon Cochin 3% higher. So this is a strong reversal that has come in, ladies and gentlemen. 24,900 for you on the Nifty, and it's 103 points higher. Let me just give you a very interesting statistics which you will only find on Business Today, which is the short build-ups and long build-ups. Just allow me a moment. This software will take a bit of time to throw this data for you, but now you will see a very strong move coming in. Wait for the Nifty to close, the 15-minute candle to close above the pivot, and that will be the trigger for all the bears to start covering their shorts. Okay, now I have the heat map in front of me. I will first show you the Nifty. Okay, long build-ups on the Nifty in 17 plus 6, 23 stocks. Short coverings in 6, so 23 plus 6 is 29. Long unwinding kahan ho rahi hai? Only in 3 stocks, of which 2 of them are IT. Short build-up kahan hai? Okay, it's in metals, which our friend Ruchit has already pointed out. So long build-up plus short covering is about 23, and short build-up plus long unwinding is about let us say 15, 12. So nothing to be worried about, ladies and gentlemen. We will wait for the Nifty to show signs of moves, and I want to highlight something which is extremely good, which is the volume. We have about 612 crores worth of transactions done on Reliance in the green. HDFC Bank about 487. So the first hour, the first 45 minutes of volume is pretty good. We are now testing the pivot 24,877. Let us see where the first hour candle at 10:15 closes. Ruchit, your closing comments.
So I think markets are today looking good and much needed pullback move, because last 6-7 trading sessions we have seen a consistent sell-off. Readings were oversold. TCR was around 0.64. So I think, as I said at the start also, that these are not the levels where one should look for shorting opportunities, but rather one should look to trade for pullback moves. So I think we should see a continuation of this pullback move towards 25,200 to 25,300 on the Nifty.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know whether this is a dead cat bounce or the worst is behind us, but what we definitely know is that probably the pain has eased. And will the Nifty end in positive territory today? Only time will tell. But so far, the theme looks positive. Remain glued to Business Today Television. There is lots that's happening on the other side of the break, and I'll be back around 12 noon with our daily show on technical calls.
Since this is an economic conclave, let me give you a business-like answer. The UN, in a way, is like an old